Oh, all right. So Eleanor won't have the mic on today, but she's here. Thanks for supporting.
Yeah, well, as my father said, he said silence is golden, but duct tape is silver.
And we are live on YouTube.
Hey, it's the Chloe Sanctuary, Cockatoos with Attitude. And speaking of Mr. Attitude, Diesel, you gonna beat me with that thing some more, or are you getting a better grip in order to hit me? So. He's being a little gentle right now, but not allowed that. What you doing, Diesel? Yeah, it's Cockatoos of Attitude. We have Amy and Eleanor moderating today. Yeah. And with us, we have Cecil and Babaloo. And usually Super Chicken will sit right there, but he would not come out no matter what I did today. So the Romander. We have a sleeping Snowball and a Pippa. And a jazzy Jazzbird, Jasmine. Open those eyes. Hi, Jazz. And a pretty bird. Lucy, are you a pretty bird? And Sugarbird.
Scratching Shuggy.
Sugar.
So many feathers.
And KK.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I had to take his dosage of Haldol up just slightly because he chewed one of his tail feathers into just the spine of the feather, nothing else. So he's doing well though. I don't know if he'll ever get completely off of it because I get him down and then he starts messing with his feathers. But he seems really, pretty confident and calm most of the time. I mean, when he plays hard, but he's not showing territoriality much anymore. He's having fun tearing up boxes. I put a new box down there and he shreds it. But he fits up with the other birds most of the time, not close to them, but. Right, Bob? Right, Bob?
Okie dokie, let's see. We have chatters here. So let's say hello to Lisa Banerjee and Michelle Thompson and GTH04T2. GTH says Cecil should have some hardwood balls and such this afternoon. Cecil, is there a package on your way? Is there a package on your way?
Cecil.
Cecil. Cecil saying thanks. Yeah, I think he does. That's his. Yeah, thank you. I bash you through the screen.
That's a good thing he's not on Twitter because he'd be bashing people all day long, wouldn't you?
Oh, Cecil, cutie.
We're having another cool day here in Nevada. It's only going to be 109 today, Fahrenheit. That's about 43 degrees centigrade. Not in the house, obviously.
No, I think Cecil would lie on his back with the feet up if it were in the house that's hot.
He wouldn't make it. He anything beyond 85 he can't handle. 85 is about his limit. So. Right, Cecil? You're the first one. You're the canary in the coal mine.
So impressive, Cecil.
I called you a canary and you didn't even hit me hard. Yeah. Just want to remind everybody, we do have merchandise out there. And I'm sure that Amy can put the link up. We have merchandise, all kinds of cool stuff coming up for the summer days. I'm not sure what, we don't use any beach blankets here because we don't have any beaches, but I think a
We have
large body
Peaches
of
beach blankets, but also Babalu beach blanket, and some more will come.
Yeah, I think that I could probably take a beach blanket down to a Mirage. That's one of the things I noticed when I was going to Vegas last time to take Pippa, is that you see what looks like water on the road, and it's just a mirage from the heat coming up from the blacktop. So I guess you could set a beach blanket by the Mirage, could you? What do you think? Hmm? Bob,
Babalu
big nut.
Let's see. Lisa says Cecil knows if he moves his head, the ball has a small ball inside. Yeah, I think he loves when it rattles and makes sense. And GTH says, I should send a cheap action camera for Cecil to bond with.
There you go. Yeah, he knows there's a ball in there, and then eventually he breaks it. You know, it can be the same day or a day or two later, he breaks the ball open to get that one out. Then he breaks that open, and there's a little ball inside that. So he knows what's in there. And right now, he's enjoying the sound.
Yeah. So Birds Maria and Sunshine TV has joined us and
hello.
Is here to say hello. It looks like over the US, a lot of people also have over 90-degree. Wow, that's pretty odd.
Yeah, yesterday
Michelle,
in Death Valley,
Michelle is mentioning she was looking at the merge and nearly missed the live start. So sweet of you.
Yeah. Oh, it's pretty cool. I like it. I got myself a peach shirt. I need to get some more stuff though. And I have a cooking with Kazi shirt that I have.
Yeah, we could admire that in the Cooking with Cozy episode.
She's something else. She wants
Cozy
what I
admired
do.
herself on the shirt, to be honest. She was looking at the shirt with the picture on it and was like, yeah, that's me.
That's the Kazi with the stuff that. The salt. And then we have Patreon too, Chloe's Sanctuary or Patreon / Chloe's Sanctuary. And that's what helps us pay our bills every month. So if people could donate $1 or $2 a month or more on Patreon, it's great because that's money we can count on to pay for things like supplies and vet trips and who knows what comes. There's always something you don't expect. There was someone here in town who was talking to you. Well, getting away from the renting situation, there's a whole bunch of problems with that. But there's also a lot of issues with being a homeowner. And they said, welcome to being a homeowner. Like, I never wanted to do that. If it wasn't for these guys, I would never have done it. So. Just for them. That's for the birdies. Of course, it's kind of obvious. You walk in the front door and it's wall-to-wall cages. We might get another cage, another big cage. There's somebody who passed away in Vegas, and they've got 507 King's cage there, but I can't go get it. Well, I'd be gone for 4 hours. These guys wouldn't get out as much as I'd like it. So maybe somebody's going to volunteer to tear that cage down and bring it down here. But we'll see. But if you haven't joined up on Patreon, think about it, because it really does help me when I get to that end of the month. I start looking at paying bills and how much money we've got in the bank. That's one of the things that really helps us. So. And of course, we have PayPal and Venmo and you name it, pretty much any platform that you can donate on. But I can't get Cecil to donate. But once in a while, he'll come over and preen me. He'll come over and preen me, you know, he'll preen, that's his donation. I'm going to preen your arm,
and
Dad.
Babaloo gives you wood, little piles of wood.
Yeah, little piles. You call that a little pile of wood. That's just from today. Now there's more down below that's also from today, but that's the last wood block. And then what he does is he kicks them on the floor and he goes and gets another piece of wood and turns it into toothpicks. Is that my toothpick? That's a pretty big tooth. Can you make that a little smaller? No?
So GTH has a trick to cool down. It was 90 plus here, then I watered the house and thermometer. That's great.
He did what?
He watered the house and the thermometer.
Oh, okay.
Or how do you call it? The thermometer.
Yeah, thermometer.
Thermometer.
Yeah, I have. What I do when I get up is oh, I'll be right back. I gotta answer this quickly. Sorry.
Okay, sounds like I can overtalk the live stream a bit. Let's see. What have the birds done yesterday? We haven't had any Mandarin, so he still is refusing to enter the bird room because he thinks he's a busy nesting bird and is somehow preparing for chicks. Yeah, that's Manda at the moment. We had a busy pip.
Hello.
Oh, are you back?
That's the person who might be bringing the cage down, that big cage. So I just told them when I was on a live Zoom call. So well, apparently they're still thinking about doing it, but that's, they got to break that thing down. They're huge panels and the top weighs about 75 pounds. I know I put the tops on all the ones here by myself. So you guys.
Oh my. Look what Babaloo is. Such a good boy.
Yeah, Cecil, though, he can't get the Moluccans to preen him, and Bob's pretty much the only one, just me and Bob and I that do that. So where Cecil goes around, tries to preen everybody. What you doing wiggling your tail up there, Snowball? Snowball.
There's no snowbird. Yeah, Snowball is a fancy boy. He now has a bigger cage, and since then he is busy playing frisbee again in his cage. Makes a lot of noise and demanding from Don to come into the cage and play with him.
That's easy for you to say. She hasn't sneezed much this morning, but now she's in this room, and this room doesn't get as much of the moisture from the humidifier. Right, Bob? Yeah, this is one of the rooms that as soon as we get done with our socialization for the day, I turn the air conditioner off. And in this room, you can't turn them off. I turn the vent down so that it maybe 10% air gets through. There's always some sneaking through, but hey, Jasmine, hey. She's really asleep over there. You can almost put a little Z's over her head.
Set. Yeah,
She's
well,
looking at me like,
she likes her high perches where she can sit somewhere above everybody else and watch. And Lucy likes her new swing perch. That's pretty nice to sit there, Lucy.
she likes to swing.
Sometimes birds run over her, not directly, but the perch highway is going directly over.
Yeah, there is a little highway over her head, so it's a mountain pass is what it is.
But most of the birds know not to mess with Lucy. Actually, everybody. Maybe not Jasmine, but the rest knows.
Yeah, Jasmine just walks over everybody.
Wait, there's a Bob sneaking. Let's see. What is the Bob doing?
He's looking for another piece of wood.
That's a
he
good
sees
idea.
it, but he's not too sure about getting into that territory.
Yeah. Well, you can see he has some social skills.
Boo!
Oh, come on. He's such a cutie. Let him explore. Actually, you could be happy if he stays away from you for 30 seconds or so before he comes back and trying to protect his territory, Don.
Actually, put that one.
A wonderful.
I put that one over there. I put that over there, basically seeing if he would go and try to get it later once he'd worked through some of the wood. But excuse me, Cecil. Cecil. He's preening the hairs on my arm. What are you doing?
Today he's heavy into preening Don's arm. Yep, GTH says, yeah, Bob got the big block. And now he gets a preen by the bubbly Bob. Such good friends.
Bob, Bubbly Bob.
Birds, Maria and Sunshine TV says the birds help to relax. So that's the same for me. So if I need some me time or so, I often just watch a video with the birds. Bob, or I have a phone call with my budgies.
Romeo is making a habit now of coming out, sitting on me, and he's getting on my hand now. So it's only been what, 10 days or so since I started opening the cage door and sitting next to it. So that's moving well. I did everybody's nails yesterday, and I bypassed doing his. I have to do it at a different time. And I can't do it at night when he's used to coming out to watch something with me and let me pet him. So Cecil, it's really distracting. The word is distracting.
No wine today. Where's my wine?
Oh, she's looking at me.
Wow.
No?
Nope.
She's got a foot up, so she's about half asleep. So
yeah, she needs to keep a reputation being statueshook.
Cecil, I'm trying to tune that out, but it's just careful. Oh, you found a scab because I walk into cages. Yes, I do.
Mhm.
I don't know why. It's not like there is any lack of room. Going through here in the morning to put the fans in. And with this heat, I can run a fan for about an hour in the morning before it hits 75 degrees. And then I have to shut the windows. But makes a big difference when I put that exhaust fan back in the farthest room and I come in here and open this one, put the screen in it. I mean, you can feel it just sucking the air into the place. Doesn't matter which way the wind's blowing, it just sucks it right in. So then I put a fan on there, and then I have two other fans that lead all the air through the house down to the other long road. What you doing now, Cecil? He's gonna go explore, aren't you? It works pretty well to blow some of the dust. What it does is it blows all the dust all over the kitchen and the dining room area. There's just bird dust, and then I have to go through the dust mop and then vacuum the living room because it just moves the dust all the way down the other side of the place. And our toy making table gets covered with it. You going back for that again? No? Well, what are you doing? That's just a drop cloth.
That's the big question. What does Cecil do?
Cecil, what are you doing? Cecil. What's up? What are you doing? No? Chloe Bird?
So Erin joined the chat. Welcome, Erin. And we have a question by GTH. Can you see the dust plum from the outside that might make a funny picture in early light? Have you got it, Don, or have I pronounced it wrong?
Yeah, no, you got it. No, not really, because I have UV filters on the windows. I have that UV film, so you really can't see in. You can at night, but you can't see in during the day. If there's whatever side has the most light, that blocks out the other portion. So if you're outside and it's daylight, you can't see in. So, which is good. So they can hear the birds if they have their windows open, but they can't see them. So we're not.
But in the morning, when you blow out the dust, can you see basically a cloud of dust coming out of the house?
I actually haven't gone out there with the camera. I'll have to look. I hadn't thought about that. Standing outside, you probably can. Yeah. Because those hurricane fans, they really move the air through the house.
And if someone asks you if the dust is from the birds, you do like, no, I just cannot afford Head and Shoulders.
Well, when I was we were at at Hill House and the Hill Place, I was always wondering if one of the neighbors was going to come by and say, "What are you doing over there? Why is all that?" Because I have to blow these things out about every 2 weeks. Because they only last 2 days in the house with carbon filters. So I go out there and blow all this dust in the air. It looks like Christmas. And nobody ever said anything, but I mean, it's really an odd thing to see somebody out there with a leaf blower just blowing dust into the air. I have some films of that somewhere in my 2 gigabytes of pictures and videos. Hey, watch that. Well, he's trying to get a better. If he gets that toy close to you and he tries to get a better grip, your finger you can up in there. It's not intentional, of course. But he doesn't realize that it's a problem. Do you? Do you realize that?
Erin just mentions the graveyard of rattle balls lying on the floor.
Oh yeah, they're all over. He's got some around his cage too, and a couple in his cage.
Mm.
He likes somebody like this, but he's like I was when I was a kid. They give me a toy like that had any kind of. The kid would be interesting in finding out how it works, and I would take it apart. So that's what he does. But he knows how these work. He knows just how to break them apart when he decides to. Don't you?
Cecil, are you interested? Are you a popular bird?
I need to take a video. I hadn't thought of it, but Snowball's playing with frisbees in his cage now, so he's getting back in that mode. So I need to take a video of him doing that.
Mm.
He goes nuts and he jumps up and grabs it and then throws it all over the cage. And he'd prefer to play with me, but if you throw one in his cage, he plays with it again.
And yesterday he did a really cool display when he was out. So I think Snowball's it's going up with him. He improves.
Yeah, he seems a lot happier since he got the frisbees, but the other cage was too small. If I can get him into another big cage, like a really big cage, like a 507, then he'll probably go insane because there's so much room he can play all day in there if he wants. He'll do that overeating. If you try to give him a treat or something, he'd rather play with a toy. And if you got a hold of would you leave that alone? You little monster, just leave it alone. It's not yours. It's not yours. Silly bird. You big silly bird. Are you big and silly? Hmm? Thank you. Thank you, sir. May I have another? Thank you, sir. May I have another? Like Animal House. All right. Okay, you guys, y'all look like statues, except for Cecil and Bob.
I can make a statue moderator.
They just, hello. Yeah, we're going to have a brief respite in the heat. It's going to go down from 109 to like 103 tomorrow, and then back down to like 100 for a couple of days, and then back up again. So you just get into a rhythm. If I have to go get water or something like that, I get them fed and watered. Go out to get the 45 gallons of water. I said, wait a minute, I got too much. Oh, there's a story too that's kind of fun. I had Walmart deliver me because, like an idiot, I got on their program, which doesn't cost that much, but so you get free delivery. So I ordered a couple more of those 5-gallon water bottles, but they didn't ring the doorbell and I didn't get a notification. So I went outside and there they were, like bending from one side to the other. It was so hot that it actually warped the water bottles. They look like they'll still hold water, but it was a good. When I went out there, it was a good 106, I think, when I walked outside to get them. Right, Seesaw? Seesaw? So if you go in the morning to do anything like if you have to go to the grocery store, you try to get all that stuff done by 11 because the heat hits you by the worst part of the day is around 3 o'clock. From 3 to 8 are the hottest times. So you don't want to be out then. It's all right if it's only going to be 100, but if it's going to be 109, 110, best to not go out. Right, Bob? And the filter on the air conditioning system, that's another thing. Basically, I have to change that when the air conditioner runs all day. I have to change that filter. They're supposed to change them every 3 months. I got to take them out of there every day. And I can take the filter out, and I've got 10 of them, so I stack them up until I only have one left, and then I take them outside and blow them out with my my leaf blower. Because in one day they'll get so much dust in them, they'll start to choke the air conditioning system. And it's all your fault.
Is it Cecil?
All Cecil's fault.
Hmm.
All Cecil's fault. Look at that foot. All Cecil's fault.
Mhm.
I have an Instacart account too. So if I need something, I make sure I know it in their feet, that I know it the night before, so that they can deliver it before it gets too hot for the delivery person too. I don't like ordering something to be delivered at 3 o'clock. That's not even sane. Send people out in that heat.
Is Babalu still alive? He hasn't tried to attack the phone in the last 5 minutes.
Yes, I've heard your voices. I've seen the screen.
What a good boy.
He just went and got another piece of wood to make toothpicks out of.
GTH is wondering if the wood and plastic chips have used as bedding for other animals.
I don't know. Probably. I'm not sure I'd want to sleep in this stuff though. It's pretty scratchy.
Well, there are animals who are not that sensitive to that, have a thick coat. The Chloe Sanctuary for cockatoos and elephants. I don't know.
Are you having fun, Bob? The way he just pops his head up when I talk to him.
And I swear, if we had cockatoos and elephants together, the cockatoos would try to pull the little tail off the elephants.
They probably would. They like to mess with other
another
animals.
word for instigator. Bob?
Bob is a good boy. Bob is a good boy. Bob is a good boy. You're ignoring me.
So Sean Mills just joined us, and I read the comment. Hi there, cockatoos. Hope you are having a fun time. Don't mind Daddy, he's grumpy because he doesn't have a beautiful beak like yours. Lots of love and hugs from your fan, Sean.
Oh, thank you. Bob, they're talking to you. Diesel. Yeah, their weights, everybody's weight's good. Their poop all looks good. The only issue I have that's can't solve that's medical is her sneezing, but Pippa's sneezing. But she's had all the tests, and now it's probably an allergy to dust. That's one thing the desert has. It does have dust. So and there's deserts with dust and deserts with sand, and we got the dust. So but she seems happy, and don't you, girl? Yeah, she says, well, I'm happier when Bob isn't right here, but Bob chases me away, gives me the evil eye.
Bob is such a good boy. He and Pippa have just, a little miscommunication going on. Bob wants to be friend and Pippa doesn't. So Michelle Thompson would like to know if there is an allergy medicine for birds.
You can give them Benadryl, but it's rare for them to have allergies. They won't have it to pollen and that kind of thing, from what I've heard. But of course, they have no way to check. This is the word among the veterinarians, but there are no tests for allergies in birds. So Benadryl, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it do anything. I tried Benadryl on her and it didn't help. Basically, an average sized cockatoo uses about of the baby formula of Benadryl, about 0.4 milliliters, and it does not taste good to them. So one vet said, oh, you'll never be able to give it to a bird. And I just went and gave it right to her. So you can't give them Benadryl because they don't like the taste. Well, guess what? You can, but and then an anti-inflammatory might help too. I tried minoxidil on her, meloxicam. It's got so many different names, but basically the same thing. That didn't have any effect. But that's what vets do, because there are no drugs for these birds. They just try different things, and they have some basic knowledge of what's going on in the endocrine system and the brain, because they're avian vets, right? So they work it out, what may or may not work, but there are no drugs for birds. So, ow! You missed your ball, you big silly bird. He dropped his ball and he grabbed my hand instead of the ball. But you were pretty gentle about it. It's all right. It's okay. It's all right. It's all right. He doesn't believe me, so he's not banging his ball around right now, because he knows he grabbed my hand. Yeah. Well, you didn't do much. I'm not bleeding. Well, maybe a little bit. Yeah, if he drops his ball and tries to get it and misses it, then he gets my hand. That's okay. That's
I sent
okay.
Lucy some popcorn in chat.
Yeah, she's about ready for some more popcorn treat. You want popcorn? There's that look. He's talking to me.
Bob? Yeah, I think she knows she's Lucy Goosey popcorn.
Sneaky Bob climbed up on my arm and was looking at the screen, but there weren't any people. It was birds, and he didn't know what to do. He just kind of looked at me, looked back at the screen, and got off my arm. If there had been people there, he would have tried to knock the phone out of my hand. But doesn't seem to bother him when there's birds in the picture, just people.
Bob, that's actually the right attitude. Birds are good, humans.
Are you trying to break your ball apart? Don't break your ball apart. It'll just go to the graveyard. You don't want to do that. You don't want to send your ball to the graveyard. You don't want to do that. There's my boy. Okay. Is it okay, KK?
Oh,
hello.
Do we have a KKK conversation going on?
KK. He started talking. Hi, baby. How you doing, KK? Now, this is a good example where I had somebody who is, been doing this for a long time say, "Oh, don't give him boxes," and she knows him, and I say, it depends. Does he look highly territorial and vicious, or I can say vicious but aggressive right now? No. Does he have a box down there? Yes. But if you try that with your bird, you're probably going to get a different result. You have to work with each individual bird according to their particular behaviors, the way they normally behave. So he'll go and play in that cage or the cage next to it, or walk on the ropes. And then when he's probably when he's feeling like he's not full part of this flock yet, he goes down and plays in the box for a bit. But I think that Amy and Eleanor both remember what he was like when he first got here. Anybody that got on the floor, he'd go chase him. Mm-hmm. And Tom would have to fly out of the cage and throw himself between the birds, right? But that's not normal behavior. I mean, being territorial is, but being that aggressive about territorial in a flock is not normal behavior. So he's not like that anymore. That wasn't his normal. That wasn't his. How do you put it? That wasn't his real personality. That was just all the stress and everything he'd gone through. He's been through a number of different hands, and the last one who had him not with us anymore, who tried, who thought he knew what he was doing, made a lot of mistakes. That's not me talking. That's someone else who knows the situation. So he clipped his wings at one point, and that wasn't good. I mean, it's real simple logic. You've got in a sympathetic nervous response, you've got fight or flight. So if you take away flight, what have you got left? So that actually didn't work the way his former caretaker thought it would. And then he backed down and stopped doing it. So by the time I got him, he had his feathers back. And he wasn't maintaining his beak. I mean, that's a big job. I mean, I don't blame him for that. And he didn't have any he had to go a long ways to get to an avian vet like I do. Actually, farther than I have to go. It was a 4-hour drive one way for him. He's got scissor beak, so he needs to have his beak worked on weekly. Which is a funny thing about KK, he doesn't mind me working on his beak, but he doesn't like me cutting his toenails. He doesn't like that at all. So he doesn't bite. He does a little threatening, a little posturing, tries to hide his toenails, pulls his feet back, puts his beak in front of his feet, that kind of thing. So you can either force, which I don't like to do, or you can play. What I do is I've got these unique, you can find them online, but they actually have they're a circular cutter. So they have a little hole, they come in different sizes. They have a hole in the middle, and then they slice when you close them up. So what I do is I just keep moving it under his toenail until finally his toenail gets in there, and you got to be quick. So I see that it's about the right length, and then I just cut him. That's how I do it with him. It takes me about 10 minutes to do his toenails and about 5 to do his beak. So, and the beak is just because that's a harder area to work with when you're drummeling. And he lets me do it. I mean, he's had it done his whole life long, so I suppose he's just calm about it. But he's had to have his nails clipped too, so clipped or dremelled. I can't dremel his nails. I have to clip his nails because he'll just hide his feet from me. Won't you? Yeah, we're talking about you back there. We are. KK bird. Hi, KK. KKKKK. KKKKK.
The KKK. Today they are all pretty calm. No wine from the sugar. No, I want to come over from Lucy. No Jasmine running over other birds.
Nope.
Not even Babalu is getting you into into trouble?
Nope, he's just preening right now.
He's a good boy sitting on the shoulder. Oh my.
This is what happens to Cecil if he thinks he bit you. See how much calmer he is? He's playing with the toy, but he's not whacking me. That's because he bit me by accident. So.
Oh my, Cecil.
One of these,
your tiny culprit.
One of these days I will actually catch a video. I'll set up the camera. So I haven't done it so far because I don't want to make him nervous. But when I do his beak, so you can see what I have to go through doing his nails, and the beak is easy. I mean, it's hard because you have to press down pretty hard, and you have to have the Dremel running pretty hard RPM. You got to have the beak open and your thumb right there. And what I mean by that is, if his tongue starts to move towards that Dremel, you have to put your finger in his beak and stop him from doing it. In this case, your thumb, because you don't want to damage his tongue. So it's an operation. I don't think too many people would be willing to do it, but if it isn't done, it makes it hard for him to eat because his beak shifts. When he bites down on something, it's like being on a slide. If you ever been when you were a kid going down the slide, if suddenly you fall off to the side, right? Makes it hard for him to close his beak properly. It'll never be right. Anyone that has a beak growing like that, you always have to work it. But it looks pretty good now. I'll do a video on it when I feel like he's comfortable enough with me putting up a camera. I might be able to do that next time. But it was about 3/4 of an inch higher on his left side than it was on his right. And it was about a 45-degree angle across when he came here. I guess the only so positive cute. Side to that. Peppa. Cecil, that's my ear. Don't mess with my ear, please. What are you doing? What are you doing? No, wrong button. Oh, come on, thing. What are you doing? What are you doing? Huh?
Working his angles. Oh my gosh, he's so cute.
This is where you have to tell people, don't ever let them sit on your shoulder because they'll eat your face. Yeah, he's going to do that.
They might bash your glasses.
Well, too, what people will do if something like that does happen, they'll make the wrong reaction. If you overreact, you're going to create somebody who will occasionally do that to get a reaction out of you. So you have to just, grin and bear it. For this old face, I'm not too worried about scars, but he's not going to bite me intentionally, that's for sure. This one. Actually, all of them can sit on my shoulder. Once in a while, she'll get a little nippy, but he's never actually drawn blood. He doesn't do that, Jasmine. He'll get on your shoulder, and once in a while, he'll grab your ear or something a little tight, but it doesn't actually pierce your skin, so. I'm talking about you. Yes, I am. You can do all that moving her, move her feathers around because you're bothering me.
Oh, can someone see Snowball peeking? Oh my, that's so cute up there.
Well, of course he is. He's a voyeur. That one movie, I think that's from.
He's on the right side, behind the pole. Oh my, that's so cute.
Yeah, he's got that line from the movie Videodrome. I'm just a natural voyeur. There I go, quoting movies maybe 1 out of 100 have seen.
Oh, that shoe is still put in my shoe. No, wow. Shaggy.
It's an interesting movie. I mean, James Woods, Deborah Harry. Yeah. Sugar is still not. She's still sleeping. She doesn't want to be preened right now. Diesel has started whacking me again.
And Bob is such a good boy, as I predicted at the very beginning.
Ouch. Are you trying to beat me to death with that ball? Are you trying to beat me to death? No? Okay. I didn't think so, but I thought maybe I should ask. Gonna grab my face now? Okay.
And Bobaloo is watching while he's preening his feet.
What are you doing, Cecil?
Claudikur. Or Claudikur. Oh, my Cecil. Does he see himself in the screen? So that's probably why he's flirting that heavily, like, oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Me and the red ball. Perfect double.
Well, plus he's dealing, he's going to get a little bit more aggressive with the ball because Bob is sitting there. I got to know Bob out of there. Otherwise, he'll start defending the ball. And Babaloo, you need to get out of there. Go on, scoot.
Well, and Bob is defending you.
Well, Bob is going to make, that's probably what's in his head, but it works just the other way. If he gets too close to Cecil, then Cecil will.
I know, but I think Bob's intention is like getting the ball away from Cecil, so you are rescued. You are safe.
Yeah, I know. Bob, I think you just pooped on me.
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't think you meant to, though. It happens once in a while. Because he gets so much wet food, as opposed to dry food. It's a little hard for it. Now I can put it around now. I just washed the heck out of that yesterday.
Be careful. Someone is probably trying to get under the chair.
He's trying to move his position to the right side. I don't like him doing that because I don't like him having the full chair as his domain. Some dust in the air here. I'm being dusted. Yeah, the carbon filters I have to replace every 2 days. On the main filters, there's 3 of them in the living room, 1 in here. I say living room, it's their living room where I eat dinner with them sometimes. I'm not eating while I'm standing up eating.
It's probably nice to have all the birds around you when you eat. And everyone probably wants to have a piece.
Yeah, it's like giving a stage performance. Everyone is watching you. Yeah, that's what it's like. They're all looking at like,
do they think it's weird when you eat?
I don't know what they think, but they sure do watch me, and they look at me like I should be getting some of that.
Okay, because when I eat somewhere near my budgies and my budgies see it, they just look like, what the heck is she doing? That looks weird. So like they are like not okay with it. I should stop.
Hey, that's my ear. Cecil, you big nut. I should take him to one of the casinos and have him roll the dice because he'd probably do a pretty good job of it. Yeah, this is it's weird living here. You go into the grocery store, and as you're leaving, there's like a little side room where you can walk right into it, where there's slot machines. People playing video poker and stuff. Like, what? Your grocery store is making money on people gambling. It's just different. Well, they have that. They have lotteries, which is gambling too. But I mean, in other states. But here, they just flat out have the video poker machines, and there's people in there playing them. You know? I've never had any fascination for gambling, so. Hey.
So Sarah
Hey.
joined us in chat and is telling us that her cockatoos are molting right now, and she cannot imagine how it looks like when the cockatoos molt. So I told her usually cockatoos don't molt; they lose feathers now and then.
Yeah, they'll usually lose like the same primary on different wings, and one may drop one day and one will drop the next, and those feathers will come in, then another feather will drop. Yeah, it's rare. Once in a while, you'll have a full molt. I haven't seen one, but I've read that it happens occasionally, but they don't know what triggers it because it isn't something that you usually see. Right, Cecil? Yeah, you won't see any molting around here. You'll see the occasional feather drop. Right? Or if someone doesn't get quite enough medicine, because I try to lower their dosage whenever I can to try to get them so that they can, they may never get off the drug, but to be on the least amount of drugs that they need to keep from killing themselves. I did that with Cause. I got her down over 3 weeks, and then I look in the cage, and there's like 10 feathers down there. I think, whoops, okay, well, have to take it back up. Most of these birds, if you saw pictures when I first got them, aren't terribly nice looking. They have lots of missing feathers. That one had blood on her. Whoops, I'm pointing the camera at myself. Jasmine had blood on her chest, and she had torn out quite a few feathers. Snowball just riffles the feathers. His chest starts looking real like there's waves in it. And if you let him go beyond that point, then he'll start pulling them out. That one didn't have much, Pip up there didn't have much in the way of, if you see those early videos of her, I mean, her primary and secondary feathers were all chewed. She didn't usually chew them off. She just chewed all the feathering off of them, so they were like stick. Bob, what are you doing behind the chair? Bob. What are you doing back there? Bob. Babaloo. Bob. Get out of there. Where are you? Bob, come on. Come on, Bob. Come on.
Where's the Bob? I like that game.
It's okay if he's under there, as long as there's nobody he can attack. If there's somebody on my lap, he wants to try to get off my lap, then I can't let him under the chair. But because he'll use that to sneak up on the other side and come jumping up at him from down below. Kind of, you can hear the sound, doo-doo, 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 doo-doo. You hear the Jaws theme in the background, you know. And like that one over there likes to eat the drapes, so I've made them extra long so we can chew the bottom and not really affect them. I can always hem them up. I do have a sewing machine, so. But I don't like him chewing the side where you poke holes in that and it lets the heat through. So again, you have to pick your battles. In this case, he likes to play with the drapes, so I'll let him play with the bottom part. You want up, Bob? Is that what you're trying to tell me? All right. Hold on, Cecil. Hold on. There's an elevator request. Well, come on. I don't want to keep my legs up all day, Bob. Good grief. I'm sitting on a mountain of toothpicks.
In the cooking video, Cooking with Cozy, Don, you told that your mother put sugar on the pastry, and now I I made a comment, so maybe we can do that one day, putting sugar on the pastry and see what happens.
Oh, I don't know if she'd be too happy about that, but she tends to not take to new types of behaviors from me terribly well. Like when I go to take her from here to her cage, if I veer in any other direction, she starts flapping her wings and getting, wait a minute, you're supposed to be taking me to my cage. She's a real creature of habit, this one. Nice tail flash, girl. Nice tail flash. Oh, did you wake up now? You're ready to have your beak petted? Hi, baby.
Sarah
that's
is
my
writing in
AirPod.
chat. Can I read? Admittedly,
Sure.
even the little birds are handful. Caring for big cockatoos sounds like a lot of work. They sure are cute though. Perhaps someday I will be in a position to be able to adopt. So far she has cockatiels.
That's the smallest of the cockatoo family, so you're getting I mean, they've got lots of attitude, just like budgies do. And they're smart, but
the thing with cockatoos is one needs a lot of space. They can be even louder than cockatiels. Even tiny budgies can make so much noise you hear them at the end of the street. No joke.
Yep.
And with cockatoos, they can be so loud it's pretty much damaging your ability to hear. So you need to think before about getting some earplugs and stuff to protect your hearing. And the other thing is we talked about in chat and in here that they produce a lot of dust. So if you have any allergies, that's also maybe contra indicator for cockatoos. So if you're already allergic to dust or so, but otherwise, yeah, if you can handle birds or so, there are a lot of birds out there in rescues who are looking for a longing home and people who are eager to commit for their long life and their needs.
Hey, watch it. Watch it. Yeah, it's a big commitment too, and you know if you don't have any kids and you're planning on having kids, not a good idea to have a cockatoo, because what it isn't the cockatoo that's the problem. It's the fact that most people don't know how to blend that environment, blend a child into an environment where there's a parrot. So what they do is they end up, once they have a child, they get rid of their first child, which is their parrot. So usually older people who are past that point do better. They may not be able to keep the bird as long, but they're more tolerant because they've been around screaming children who've caused all kinds of problems, and they're used to dealing with that. Even though these guys have different problems, but when you're dealing with children, you're dealing with problems. So if you've done that for a while and you're not having any kids, it works out better that way. And learn as much as you can, because what you don't know can hurt you. So as you can see, I can put my fingers right in her beak. I don't have to worry about her biting me. But if you don't know how to work with these guys and you don't know their essential natures, what they're like, you don't know how to work with them to determine what each individual personality is, you can end up with issues that it'll make you go running around screaming like a harpy.
Sarah is just admitting she already volunteered at a zoo and dealt a little bit with cockatoos.
That's a good start. You also have to actually do some real study and then learn animal training too. If you want to be successful and you really want to help the bird, taking that animal training 101 course, which that's to a nonprofit. So you're going to be giving, and you can do that, and you don't have to do it all at once. You can pay for each section. You don't charge extra for that. So it's not that much. It's $400, but you think $400? Well, just imagine what's going to happen if you accidentally train your bird to bite. Well, that $400 course would certainly make a difference, because you can untrain that behavior. When you make mistakes, you can fix them, and you make less mistakes. So as I usually bring up Marley, who was he was an Amazon, but double yellow Amazon, but oh, no man can hold him. No man can hold him. You know, and 2 weeks later, I've got him running around inside the aviary, and I'm not watching him. He come climbing down on my shoulder and get on my arm. No man can hold him. I mean, what do I have? Magical powers?
That was so funny. He was dangling over your head from the ceiling of the aviary and tried, I don't know, 15 minutes or so to threaten you to death. And as you haven't reacted at all, or so, he just came down.
Hey! Actually, the aggressive one was the African gray I had.
GTH is asking $400 is how many vet visits? 0.3. I think that depends. But when you take the average, if it's just if everything is okay and you just do the regular blood work and a check or so, it's probably but operation and any stuff is just much more expensive. And I don't know how it is with health insurance for pets over there in the United States. Here it's slowly coming for dogs and cats, but actually for cockatoos who live as long as humans and also get then elderly things and are expensive, might make sense if there's something available.
And the problem with the health insurance plans they have, the ones that I know about, is that most of them say that you have to start early on. So they want you to do this with birds that are like 2 years old or less. Are you kidding? I mean, it's not like a dog or a cat, and they don't understand that. You know, that you may have a bird that's 10 years old that you want to put on the plan, they won't let you do it because they say the bird's too old. Well, the bird lives to be 80 years old. You're telling me that you can't put it on the plan at 10? And that's the way they do it. And you don't want to get a bird that's that young. So I don't know. There are other plans that I probably don't know about, but the ones I know about require the birds to be awfully young. So but then you got to think about your own medical too. You don't take that $400 class in animal training, which works on everybody. I mean, it'll work on your spouse. This stuff works, right? Applied behavior analysis. So, and Dr. Zelix has a way of teaching you that you don't have to be a college, going to college to understand what she's saying. Because if you read her book, you'll find out the college level information in there. You'd probably look at it and go, I don't think I can learn that. You can in the videos, though. It's great at explaining it in ways that it gets through to you, even if you don't have a college education. But just imagine if you don't take the class, and then you have to go to the hospital because you have your lip split in half, or you have a big gouge on the side of your face. And when that happens, that's your fault for not having learned how to avoid that. And some people will go a long time with no problems, and then they'll screw up somewhere along the line, like they'll get the bird bonded to them, even if the bird didn't for the first 4 or 5 years. And then all of a sudden, I've got this problem now. And they all start screaming. Well, you could have prepared for it. It's almost inevitable at some point you're going to have some problem. So,
Shuggy got up in his training.
I think the evidence of what that training can do is you can see it in this room. Right? You enjoying that?
Lots of happy and healthy birds.
Yeah. Yep, and you have to keep learning too. Once you get done with the course, you keep learning about training, and you also have to keep learning about their physiology and check out what the latest information is on disease and how to deal with things. I mean, there are some simple procedures you could learn to do yourself and that kind of thing from a vet and get the vet's authorization when they say that, yeah, you're qualified to do that now. So, I mean, I do their beaks, and I had to show a vet how I do it, and he made some. You know, you want to use this kind of a Dremel, and you know,
I
he
think
actually
KK
went
is
through.
playing with the curtains back there.
Yeah. That's again, it's choosing my battles. I'm letting him play with the curtains as long as he plays with the bottom part. If he finds a way to pull them over like he did yesterday, it starts chewing on the side, so you can see a few holes, little bits of holes in there. Then I pull it back and get it out of his way, back over into the corner so he can chew the bottom. Okay, say I have a sewing machine. But you have to plan things out. How am I going to deal with this? How am I going to deal with that? Because if you get bit, most people go, and try to put the bird up. Well, what if the bird wants to go back to its cage? What if the bird right now is just tired of being out, wants to go back to its cage, but you haven't picked up the cues? It bites at you. Maybe it's not even a big bite, but you get scared, you pull back, they lose their balance, they bite hard. Then you scream. Well, you just reinforced the behavior. Congratulations. You just started yourself down a really bad path. But that doesn't mean you can't fix it. But you got to have the tools. You know, if you don't have a spare tire when you get a flat on the road, what do you do? I mean, you can't call, you know, I'm going to call the avian experts. I'm going to make a call to AE. You know, you call AAA, right? Well, there's no AAA to call when you get yourself in that situation. So, and if later on you have dogs or cats or I don't care what animal, they use this stuff. And I saw actually, Amy actually gave me a video. She pointed me to a video where they're using these techniques on reptiles, and it works. So if it works on a reptile, it works on
Reptiles,
a parrot.
polar bears.
Yeah, everything. You know, I mean, and for $400, you learn this fantastic technique, and it's as you go to its videos, so you can stop and you can go back, and for a whole year you can keep going over the course until you really have it down. You know, and then
Yeah, I'm happy they figured that out in our zoo facilities. Usually, I know there are people who protest against it, but when you see how animals are kept around the world, also I think they can call themselves lucky if they ended up in one of the big zoos in Germany, actually. So basically, there's nothing hidden. It's very popular in our TV to actually watch episodes about so what's going on in the zoo. So you see everything behind the scenes or so, and the animal keepers tell you everything about what they do with them, and so they care really nicely for them, and they also try to get really to get educated. And yeah, that's the newest approach, which I was really happy to see, that they actually now do also ABA, and it works. And I hope it spreads around the world.
Yeah, I spent over about $1,200 on classes, which isn't much, but I don't know how much I saved in grief and problems. Issues like one bird attacking another. I could have had huge vet bills when one bird goes after another. And now what do? I throw my arm between the two of them and I separate them. I couldn't have done that before I took those courses. I'm not a magician or something. I knew I was ignorant. So I went out and filled in a lot of the holes. Nobody has all the holes filled, but I can see you if you pick up the basic tools of parrot training from that class, and then when you're trying to convince one of your spouse or one of your grown children, I say that because I don't really think it's a good idea to have these parrots around young kids, but you can manipulate them right into whatever you help them to choose the decision you want. Let's put it that way, and to feel good about it. you aren't learning to manipulate the bird and as in force it to do something. You're learning it to help it make the choice you want it to make.
So maybe, wait, there's a funny comment from GTH. Cecil is like a cartoon character. Never sleeps, never poops. You only see him bonking with a ball. That's great. And then maybe one last question from Sarah. She says, I was wondering, how do you handle non-aggressive bites related to overly enthusiastic allopreening?
Well, if it's if you're talking about biting a human in that situation, allopreening, well, it depends. Of course, the instance, the birds that are involved have a lot to do with it. Which bird is it? What's their normal tendencies and that kind of thing. But in general, what I try to do is just divert their attention to something else. You can't punish them. So you like I did with Cecil. I said ouch because he bit me, and I kind of pulled him just slightly away from my hand, and then I started talking to him, and he stopped. You know, he's just looking at me while I'm talking, and then I just kind of went off on something else. I just ignore it, and eventually they go back to being like, I can say it depends on the bird, but in his case, if you point out, you say ouch, and you kind of pull away, not going to say it too loud, and then he realizes that something happened that he did, he'll sit there and just look at you or slow down, kind of. It's almost like he's thinking about what happened. I don't know what they're doing, but it's almost like that. Other birds, it depends. If Bob nips me, I usually pull him slightly apart and say, Bob, get his attention and say, Bob, you bit me. But I just pet him when I say it. And sometimes if he does it, I'll show him where he bit me and he'll look at it. But that's all I do. You don't want to draw too much attention to anything negative they do, because all that does is make them more likely to do it. So the exception to that is if you had a bird that tried to fly onto, you wouldn't want to have this going on anyway, but if they somehow got into the kitchen and there was a burner on or something, and they start to fly up there, then you're going to do positive punishments. You're going to grab the bird in midair, and you're going to pull them away from there, and you're going to yell at them. And then you're going to go over the flame and like put your hand by it and go, ow, and pull your hand away and try to show them that it's dangerous. But each individual situation, that's why I say it's great to have those courses behind you, because you can look at an individual situation and you can figure out, based on the bird's personality and based on the situation, what's the best way to make them do the right thing. And you rarely use positive punishment, which is adding something to get a certain behavior. Adding something to reduce the behavior or extinguish it. So called positive because you add something, and it's called punishment because you are reducing or extinguishing a behavior. It has nothing to do with like putting someone in beating somebody with a cat o' nine tails. That's the common use of the word. We don't mean that when we say punishment. You learn that's not what the word punishment means in ABA, but there's reward and punishment. And so, like, if I were going to punish him for doing something, if he was getting too amorous with a toy, he was treating it like it was another bird. Well, I would, if I were going to use negative punishment, I would simply remove something, take away the toy, in order to extinguish the behavior. Well, if he doesn't have the toy, he can't do it. Right? So.
Yeah, thanks for that answer from Sarah.
Yeah, you're welcome. We better go. I'm way over time here now, guys, but it's been fun talking to you.
No, Babalu is laughing.
Yeah, he is. Think about joining us on Patreon or joining, if you're not already a member on YouTube, one of the two would be helpful, so we can help pay the bills every month, because you never know what's coming up when you have a house to pay for.
YouTube, Patreon, flip course on the Chloe Sanctuary website. So, and there are different options and benefits. And if you like to inform, I can post again the link tree, because there is basically every link which is related or important to Chloe Sanctuary. So if you bookmark that, then you get basically if something changes also that will be updated. I put that in the comments once again, and then thanks for joining today.
Yeah, thanks for being here, guys, and don't forget about merchandise too. Amy works really hard on that stuff, and she's got some great creations. So I'd wear my peach shirt in here, but it wouldn't last long. So
we will find some merch we can put somewhere without that the birds don't chew it in the first minute.
There's a tough one. Thanks a lot for being here, guys, and we'll see you on Wednesday. Bye.